Hello everyone and welcome to another video here on the channel. Today I'm going to be recapping the 2025 Scoops AFL Draft Recap of Night 2, or the AFL Draft of Night 2. All 60 selections are done and dusted. 3 players re-rookied, or 2 technically, so 58 new players to AFL lists. We've got a rookie draft tomorrow night. So this video will be centered around Night 2 only. This is not going to be a club-by-club recap. It'll be after the rookie draft tomorrow night. That's the plan. So this will be solely on Night 2. I'm not going to go over Night 1's selections and everything like that. I might base opinions off some selections for tonight that were based off last night, what they should or shouldn't have done. But in summary of tonight, fair to say that West Coast and Gold Coast did their part tonight. West Coast with Sam Allen, obviously a really good selection. Father-son, Tyler Williams, a part of their academy, I should say. They did what they had to do there. Melbourne, bizarre night again. And Melbourne have completely stuffed this up yet again. I think Melbourne people should be embarrassed for their selections, with how they're going about it, who was available that they didn't take. One of the biggest steals of the draft was great to see someone who I've had on the podcast recently, Jack Dalton, go to pick 34 at the Hawks. Well deserved there, mate. Archie Ludovic was the surprise of the entire draft in the end. Blake Threadgold, who I've also had on the podcast, went at pick 26 for the Roos with the first pick on Night 2. Well done to Blake. That is truly well deserved, mate. Should be very happy with that. Archie Ludovic went at pick 50 to the Crows. The Crows just picked up key forward after key forward when they got a bunch of key forwards already. Great selection, a steal of that pick, which is maybe why they chose him. So many key forwards. Some bids for Jack Ison didn't happen until pick 47. Max King didn't happen until 49 for the Swans Academy, tall forward, not the Saints player. But the biggest snub of the draft, and even if he gets selected in the rookie draft, it's still a snubbing, considering he was potentially in the top 15. That's Ollie Grieves from the Eastern Rangers. Inside bull, just averaged like 25 disposals this year in the state champs. About 28-30 disposals for the Eastern Rangers throughout the Coach Talent League. It just baffles me why he kept getting passed on. My man, Javan Filippo, is off to the Swans at pick 35. That was a steal for the Swans. So Ludovic, Threadgold, Filippo, and other names I've just mentioned. Dalton, great selections. Geelong and Melbourne making bizarre moves. Geelong, like Melbourne, are trying to make other teammates happy with their selections. Hunter Holmes at pick 33. That's not a knock on him. It's more a knock on Geelong. Why someone they picked could have gone to the rookie draft or even late selection. They had so many good players they could have chose. And look at the ones straight after Hunter Holmes, Jack Dalton, Javan Filippo, and Max Kondo could have been far better selections. Cody Curtin went to Brisbane, the brother of Dan Curtin. Just amazing. The Brisbane Lions are stacked of talent. They passed on Ty Prindle, who went to the Pies, a part of their academy. The Pies got a good player there, left footer, from the Lions Academy. The Lions can't get them all. Richmond went on a bidding spree for a few picks in a row late in the draft in the 50s. Sam Allen, who's coming off an ACL to the Eagles, I really like that selection in their overall draft, which we'll get to tomorrow, most likely. But yeah, lot to like for some teams, and Melbourne and Geelong, in particular Melbourne, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? Now, please subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video around. It's no secret that Melbourne have absolutely butchered it yet again. So it's fair to say, you know what their grading's going to be from me tomorrow night. Hint, it's going to be a very low number. And I've already detailed night one. I'm going to detail it again here for Night 2. So pick 26 started Night 2's proceedings, and that was North Melbourne. They selected Blake Threadgold from the Sturt Football Club in Sample. Intercept defender. The Roos need tall defenders and tall forwards. They did not pick a tall forward, which I'm a bit surprised by. Maybe they'll get a mature age player in the rookie draft tomorrow, or a young tall forward. Blake Threadgold's a great selection here. To go into a backline that is really, not great. Blake can play straight away, good intercept player, can play on talls and smalls. And that's the ability, I think, that separates him from other tall defenders. that he can move around the ground. Now, pick 27, the Bulldogs selected Louis Emmett, who has played a forward ruck in the lower levels, the junior levels. Apparently, he plays a key defender. Maybe that's why the Bulldogs selected him, but the versatility is obviously going to be important. Now, pick 28, Gold Coast traded up, and they selected Avery Thomas from Tasmania. I believe he's the only Tasmanian drafted so far, a defender. He was over the moon going to the Suns. The Suns, picked Kobe Colson later on down the track and added in Avery Thomas. Why are clubs allowing Gold Coast to bring in all these players and now getting bonus players? Carlton had the opportunity, but they kept trading back, which was dumb in my opinion, in what Carlton did there. They could have picked Ollie Grieves and Javan Filippo, Sam Allen, Jack Dalton, Max Kondo at the time, Charlie Banfield. They could have done all that, Kai Fincher, but they didn't. Bizarre. A great selection for the Suns, Avery Thomas, a defender, medium-sized defender, runner. Pick 29, the Eagles selected Sam Allen, plays on the wing, was the Oakley Chargers captain, done an ACL early in the year. It's great to see Sam get selected and rewarded for the form he had prior to his ACL injury. Really happy for him. Had him on the podcast. We're never so certain on what was going to happen, but it's great to see Sam get that opportunity at the Eagles. And it's well-deserved, mate. You should be proud, and good luck at the Eagles, who did really well overall. Pick 30, Melbourne selected Thomas Matthews from the Gippsland Power, a small forward. Again, just like Latrell Picker last night, this ain't a knock on Thomas Matthews and deserves an opportunity. Not knocking him or anything like that. But just like last night, I'm going to say it again. Melbourne failed the draft yet again. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, they had midfield was their main aim. And in their 3 selections, not one of them are midfielders. They had Ollie Grieves. They could have gone Javan Filippo, mid-forward. They could have gone Max King, Kai Fincher, some other players, Charlie Banfield. They could have gone someone else that's actually a mid. But Ollie Grieves was the perfect one to choose. Now, you people are going to now say, oh, but no one picked him anyway. But that's Melbourne's desperate need of the type of player they need to replace with Petrarca and Oliver. Other clubs, not so much. A different story for them. Melbourne need an inside mid. They didn't even pick Greaves. They didn't pick any mid. So Melbourne have failed the draft yet again. Everyone at Melbourne that made these selections should be embarrassed, and it's like they're trying to make them be bottom 4 again. And fun fact, I heard that Gippsland Powers, Tom Matthews, his friends of Bailey Humphrey. Is this another tactic to try and bring in Bailey Humphrey down the line? I don't find it smart at all. You shouldn't be picking players for that reason alone, especially if that's the only reason why. But Tom Matthews goes to the Demons to pick 31 under him. Pick 31, Richmond select small forward Zane Puka from SA. Small forward, played for SA in the state championships, has some good moments. Richmond needs some small forwards as well to complement what they picked already. It's a good selection here. Pick 32, Collingwood selected Brisbane Academy midfielder Tyan Prindable, and they did not match. Obviously don't have the points. Pi's got a good one here in the left footer. Pick 33, Geelong selected Hunter Holmes from the Geelong Falcons, and also the brother of Max Holmes. Again, like I said before, this is not a knock on Hunter. He's going to be a developing player that'll be, if he makes it at level, it'll be years down the line. Again, I think this is just like Melbourne with Latrell Pickett. This is another, let's bring in a teammate's brother to make them happy. Like, even recruiters thought he'd be a late rookie pick at best. And he went at 35. Now people go, at 33. People say Geelong, well, they got the ability to do that because they're so strong. Doesn't mean anything when it comes to drafting. They picked Harley Barker, who's not going to play next year, and Hunter Holmes, who won't get a game. Very bizarre moves from Geelong again. They also did not do well this draft period, because they failed the trade period and they didn't do anything significant in the draft. And had so many good players on the board that they failed. Pick 34, the Hawks selected Jack Dalton. Like Hawthorn, they kept pushing back for future seconds, and I kept saying, what are they doing? But they've made up for it now. They have. Aiden Schubert, Cameron Nan, now Jack Dalton. So pretty handy trio they've ended up acquiring. Dalt's a left footer who I drew within a Gold King challenge. We added a bonus round, which he won. Just Dalt's, proud of you, mate. Loves a goal, Dalt's. He's a really good left footer. Accumulates the ball. He tackles. His rating is a very good shot at goal. I mean, I wouldn't have to watch any highlights of his to know that now, just off our Gold King challenge alone. Kicking goals on the boundary for fun. Really sharp shooter. The Hawks have got a good one there in Jack Dalton, one on Dalt's. And speaking of having a good one at the club, the Swans, who picked 35, selected Javan Filippo, all aboard the Filippo train. How he slid so far back, I don't know. The Swans have got a good one. The brother of Mateus can kick on his left foot, can kick on his right foot. When I interviewed him the first time around, I actually generally didn't know if he was a left foot or a right foot, because every time I watch highlights, I'm like, oh, yeah, so he's a lefty. Oh, is this even him? Now it's a right footer. Now it's a left footer. It was so confusing. He can kick on both feet very well. And Sydney got a lot of good left footers and good kickers in their side, like Goulden and co, and Blakey and that. He'll complement them very well. Play mid forward. I feel like he can play more forward at the moment. Add to their mix, allow Heaney to play more midfield maybe. Replace Luke Parker. Obviously, he left a few years ago now to play that role. I think he did really well. They did really well, the Swans, picking Javan Filippo. All aboard the Filippo train. Just joining the Swans, hopefully in 2 years' time, down to the Saints with his brother, Mateus. Pick 36. Essendon selected Max Kondogiannis. We'll call him Max Kondo, as he calls himself. So Max, obviously a defender, a tall player. Don't mind this selection for Essendon. I think this is a solid selection with the complement what they picked up already. Essendon had a really good draft, and they should be really happy with how they went. Collingwood picked WA midfielder Samuel Swadling from WA. A good move, played in the state champs, had a good tournament. Overall, had a solid year. I like this selection for the Pies. The Pies have gone a few midfields, which they have done. I'm surprised they didn't go Ollie Grieves. I was waiting for it because Collingwood want future mids. But then no one, unfortunately, picked Ollie at the moment. Rookie draft, pick 1, Ollie Grieves, maybe. We'll wait and see. Good selection, though, for the Pies. Pick 38, Brisbane selected Academy from the Eagles, Kobe Evans, a midfielder. They didn't have the points to match, or they could have, but then they wouldn't have been able to get Tyler Williams, which they got in a few picks later. So Brisbane get a future player who probably will be a developing player that will be playing VFL the whole season because of their stack side, like Cody Curtin. So they did really well. Next pick was Tyler Williams, which the Eagles matched, a forward through their academy. Time will tell if he'll get a game, but be interesting. Now, with pick 40, Fremantle selected Tobin Murray, the guy who was linked from Geelong's VFL to Geelong and Carlton, and Freo snapped him up and stole him from right underneath them. Pick 41, the Saints selected Charlie Banfield, part of the Eagles Academy. Smart. They were linked to him throughout the last few weeks. They met with him and everything like that. A tall winger. That's something. He's a good kick as well and can run. And that's the type of player the Saints need. Charlie Banfield, part of the Eagles Academy, they couldn't match it because they had no points left to match it. So smart there from the Saints. I think he can play on the wing. Can team up. He's from Claremont. I believe Hugh Boxall, the Box, was from Claremont as well. Well, they'll know each other anyway. So young midfield brigade at the Saints starting to build, along with Kai Finch, we'll get to shortly. Just looking great here for the Saints. Really happy with how they went. Really happy. Pick 42, I probably would have gone Ollie Grieves, but Charlie Banfield's a good option as well, so I'm really happy with that. Pick 42, Sydney selects Billy Cootie from the Samford. Don't know too much about him, if I'm being honest, from Sturt. Sydney, I think he's a forward. Sydney like these players, and they seem to do pretty well with them over time, so hopefully Billy can find a game. I think he's 22 years of age as well, so time will tell how he'll go at the Swans. Well done to him. Pick 43, Brisbane selected key forward Cody Curtin from WA, the brother Dan Curtin from Adelaide. Maybe this is a smart strategic move to get him to develop for the next few years with Eric Hipwood and co, and everything like that, and see how he ends up. I think it's a good selection. He was talked about a little bit here and there, especially in WA media, but that's about it. But go under the radar, that's sometimes a good thing. Speaking of flying under the radar, pick 44, back-to-back selection for the Brisbane Lions. They selected Ty Hayes, a midfielder who played for Southport. He's like 20 years of age, I think, but more known as a relation to the St Kilda great Lenny Hayes. Played for Southport this year, Ty Hayes. Brisbane, again, like these players, probably will develop playing VFL for a year again. But Brisbane can afford to do selections like this. Well done to Ty Hayes. Pick 45, Carlton. Still didn't have a bid on Jack Ison, which baffles me. So they selected Taylor Byrne, forward. He's got speed to burn. He kicks goals for fun. For the Rebels in the Coates Talent League. Played for Vic Metro as well. Vic Country. Kicked some goals in the state champs and played really well. Don't mind that selection for Carlton. They really do desperately need small forwards. Pick 46, Gold Coast selected Kobe Colson from their academy, a midfielder. Gold Coast just love their midfielders in their academy, and their academy players. I mean, to bring in Avery Thomas with all their academy stars they brought in, they've done really well. And North placed the bid, and of course, Gold Coast matched. So our club should have done it a bit earlier on those Gold Coast and Brisbane ones. Like Collingwood did with Prindle, and they couldn't match it. Pick 47, North placed the bid, and Carlton matched and select Jack Ison from their NGA Academy. Carlton get their man. Finally, they're probably happy it went so late. They were able to select Taylor Byrne, and then bring in some pick swaps as well. So I don't them, and surprised he went at 47, considering he was also talked about getting a bid at top 20, even around 15. Shows how, probably even this draft was. So it is what it is there. The next selection at pick 48, North Melbourne then selected Hugo Mukunda, a midfielder. I like this selection. Seeing some highlights of Hugo and some, information on him that he'll be a good player for them, and taller player, stronger body. I think that's what North need. I'm surprised they went more mids, but he may have the ability to play out forward as well. Speaking of forwards, pick 49, the Swans selected their academy player after an Adelaide bid of Max King. All hail the King, a different Max King. Funnily enough, he's a forward, but he's only about 190 with Max King's like 202. I was hoping St Kilda would have placed a bid on him and Sydney wouldn't have matched, but after last night with Lockie Carmichael, I knew the Swans would match. The Swans got a player, pick 49, Max King. I cannot understand why he got a bid so late as well. The Swans would have been so happy, and maybe if they had known this well in advance, they may have been able to match a bid for Lockie Carmichael as well, considering this one was so late. And Noah Chamberlain wasn't at all nominated in this draft. So great selection for the Swans through their academy. Then the Crows selected Archie Ludowick, key forward, developing PCL injury through the state chance at pick 50. The steal of the draft, or one of with Dalton, Filippo as well. So, great selection there for the Adelaide Crows. But why do they want more key forwards? Maybe they just said too hard to pass up on. You got Walker and Darcy and Phil Thorpe and other guys floating through their Ben Keys, etc. Pick 51, GWS selected Finnegan Davis from the Western Jets. To be honest, I don't know too much about him. He's a defender. GWS love their selections where not much people know much about them, but sometimes that can be a good thing. Generally, these players work out for the Giants, so good luck to Finnegan Davis at the Giants at pick 51. Pick 52, the Saints matched a bid by Richmond on Kai Fincher from the Sandy Dragons, part of the Saints Academy, NGA Academy. He's won VFL game for Sandy, VFL, in the last ever game as the Saints alignment. He had 26 disposals and a best on-ground performance and 8 clearances and tackles. I mean, Kai Fincher, before that, I knew would be a great selection. He just racks up good numbers, a tackler, a contested player. That's the exact type of midfield the Saints need to complement with Charlie Banfield now coming across with everyone we've got in the midfield already. Really excited with the Saints draft here in those 2 picks. So really happy there. Kai Fincher, another steal at pick 52. Pick 53, Richmond also placed a bid, but Essendon matched the bid for NGA Academy prospect Hussein Al-Achkar. Hussein, a small forward selection for them that will do really well. Pick 54, you would think. Pick 54, Richmond selected Noah Roberts-Thompson, the nephew of Lewis Roberts-Thompson from Sturt in the sample as well. A lot of Sturt players, a lot of sample players being picked up. I believe he's like 20 years of age. No, he's not. He's 18. So great selection for Richmond, and see how he'll fit in at the Tigers, a midfielder, they say. Pick 55, Collingwood selected their own academy prospect in Zach McCarthy. A tall forward ruck. The Pies need some tall forwards. Be a future player, so Pies fans don't expect too much early. But nonetheless, a selection for them that they'll be really, really happy with, especially in the future. Pick 56, the Hawks selected Matthew Leray from the Sandful, or SA, play state champs. I think he's from Sturt as well, Matthew Leray. So another good selection, another Sturt player. Did really well. Speaking to Sturt, a pick 57, a mature age player born in 2003, Angus Anderson, a midfielder, was best on ground in the Sturt grand final victory. He's a midfielder. He's got a lot of hype on the coverage from on Fox from shifter Mike Sheehan. Angus Anderson plays well in the sample, going off his numbers. And they're the players that Pies have selected in the past, like Charlie West, and a few others. Noah Howes, I think it was, or something like that. So they're known to do these type of moves to Pies, and, it's worked. I mean, you look at Lockie Sullivan, guys like that have played bits and pieces that have done all right. So maybe Angus Anderson can do the same, and he's 22 years of age as of right now, 23 going into next year. So it's good for them and him, and well done to Angus Anderson on his opportunity. Pick 58 and 59, the Saints and Giants redrafted their players. So Saints redrafted at 58 Ryan Burns, part of the list, leave spots open type thing here. Giants did the same with Jake Stringer at 59. And the final selection in the draft, a pick 60, father-son, Will Darcy, a key defender, a tall, skinny, developing player at pick 60. So that's all the selections. Of night 2 alone, Melbourne shit the bed again. Geelong were no good as well. Hawthorn had some good selections there. But West Coast I was really impressed with tonight, and North Melbourne as well. And Brisbane to a degree as well, although they probably won't play because their team is star-studded already. Please subscribe, share this video around. Congratulations to all 60 players who have been drafted. Remember, rookie draft tomorrow. Full club-by-club recap tomorrow. That's the plan. And just remember, if you haven't been drafted yet, there's still the rookie draft tomorrow. And if you're not, there's train-on opportunities. So never give up on your dreams. There's players, as I said last night, have been drafted at 29 to 30 years of age. They played in grand finals, the final series. If you remember the Richmond player that did that, mid-season pickup, played like 5 games and won a premiership in those first 5 games of his career, and he was picked at like 29 years of age. So never give up on your dreams. Never give up. You can't see it yet, but trust me, you will at some point. Thank you. And well done, Saints. Charlie Banfield, Kai Fincher, and technically Ryan Burns. Welcome to the Saints, and welcome back to the Saints, Ryan. Go Saints.